Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 11 of 42, the podcast where we talk about the failings of the late great human race. And as always, the co-host who I normally have a very witty intro for, but not today, is our good friend Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
I've been better, but I'm okay. How are you, Jacob?
Not too bad. It's Monday, but it is a Monday for all you out there. Yesterday was Easter, so schedules didn't accommodate, but it's all good. It's a short week for me, so today's my Tuesday, so I'm just trying to get through it.
Nice. Why is it a short week? You taking Friday off for some reason?
Yeah, on Thursday night, we are heading down to Columbus, Ohio for the Major League Gaming Join Dota Season 1 LAN Finals. Or the event with the longest name ever, one of the two.
Yeah, that's a lot of words.
But that's, yeah. So we're going to go down there. With my last job, I traveled a lot, so I racked up a whole lot of hotel points. So nice. we're able to stay for free. And tickets to the event for 3 days were $35 a ticket. So we're just
not bad.
It's more of an excuse to go than it is the reason we're going. But yeah, we're going to go watch some of the best Dota players in the world play Dota.
Awesome.
It's going to be weird going to a live video game tournament.
I've actually never done anything like that. Well, when it comes to the future kind of gaming, modern day like
arenas, we've all been to them. All the land, the computers are all hooked up, and people are talking shit, but you don't know why they're talking shit.
Right. Yeah, this will be crazy though. How many people are going to be there? Do you think? Like how many?
I think
will be sitting there watching the.
I think the arena, because they actually have their own arena there in Columbus. Major League Gaming has their own space. I want to say it's like 3,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. And, it's right there by Ohio State, so I'm sure we'll hit the bars one night and go party like college kids. And by that, I mean be home at 10:30. I still think I probably show those college kids a thing or two about drinking, but that's me.
Wait, which way who's showing who?
I think I could show them a thing or two. I got age and experience on my side.
Yeah, and they got testosterone and fucking I don't know what they got on their side, but those kids can drink, man. So you could show them the way to actually enjoy it like a mature adult.
It's like, this is how you
But they'd be like, no, let's just put it in a funnel. Let's just put it in a funnel. You'll just drink it. Just the whole. You're like, it's scotch. That's 50-year-old scotch. What are you doing? They're like, bottles, 6 of them at a time. Yeah. Each one of you has something else to teach each other, I think.
Yes. So that'll be fun. Hopefully, it's not too bad of a drive, depending on where you look. It's somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. So
it's like 30 miles away.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave after work on Thursday and get there and hang out. And there's another podcast, a Dota podcast I listen to.
You said hang out, even go get drunk and have sex.
I mean, we do have a hotel. It's
like we're married and we have a hotel. Any excuse is good enough.
Any excuse is good enough.
Hell, we're a boy and a girl. That's a good enough excuse. Fuck it.
Hey, we're still at the point, and hopefully we never get to this point where we're just like, hey.
You have 10 minutes? Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're just like, yeah. So it'll be good. And there's a Dota podcast I like to listen to that they're going to be there. So we're going to have a meetup.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Work is work. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. It's actually not cold.
Yeah, it's warming up.
Yeah, it was right around 70 today. Like legit kind of warm.
Yeah, that's,
which is weird because I don't know if it's been that warm since I've moved here almost 6 months ago.
Jacob. So was it a bad winter? So now that you've kind of gone all the way through it, do winters suck as bad as us Southerners think?
They're tough, but they're one of those things that once you learn how to deal with it, they're not bad.
And they kind of make you a little hardy.
Yeah.
Teach you some respect for nature.
The thing is,
Good things like
if
that.
they had this weather in Houston, the city would be shut down for 2 months.
Just
but they have it all the time up here. So they have all the trucks, all the salts. You know, they'll drop a foot of snow and we won't. The kids will be 2 hours late getting to school, kind of thing. Like, just don't keep. You know, they'll basically push the start of the day back 2 hours so the kids don't get frostbite at the bus stop. Literally. And so that's the difference. It's the equipment, really. They just have everything. They know how to deal with it here, unlike in the South.
That's absolutely true. Dude, I mean, everybody's seen the memes, though, but it's like, they shut down, the city shut down, and it's like the grass is still green. Like, there's just a white layer of powder on top of the grass, and it's like school shut down. And then, it says something like, oh, that's funny, and it'll be like Wyoming, and it'll be like 3 or 4 feet. And then the next picture will be like, oh, yeah, keep talking, eh? And it'll just be white. There's just nothing. It's just Canada. It's funny.
Oh,
3 different levels.
Yeah, it's been a trip. I've never seen this much snow in my life.
Really, just continuous.
There was
the
weeks where it snowed every day.
Oh, that's so weird.
It is weird. It's especially.
Did you make a snowman?
A little bit. For the most part, I was like, "Fuck this snow!
Fuck this snow,
you guys!" Especially because I've got my driveway. So I'm at the bottom of my property is sloped about like this. I have a 9-degree sloped driveway.
Right.
That's hard to get up in the snow. So we're out there with the salt and the shovels and the snow blower at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, it was
still dark at 5:30 in the morning.
Yes, it is.
Fuck that.
So
it didn't even snow this year.
But once we got used to it, it wasn't bad. It's not nearly as bad as those poor people out in Boston. They had 110 inches this winter or something crazy like that.
That's insane.
It set the record. Like they set the record very late in the season to still be considered winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 110, 112 inches.
Yeah, no fun down here either. I didn't enjoy the weather this year, but I mean, it's winter. Winters are never really that fun.
Houston. Let's just be honest. The weather in Houston is just terrible.
It sucks all the time.
It sucks.
Yeah,
y'all don't have
80.
spring.
Mm-hmm.
And the summers are just god awful. It's like
brutal.
It's like living in a sauna for 6 months.
Yeah.
Fall, like the 3 days of fall aren't bad. And then winter is just wet and cold. It's like 40 degrees and misty the entire winter, which is 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'd like to move. That's why I'm buying a house here.
Oh man, I'm really glad my boss doesn't listen to this. I found a job I'm going to apply for.
Yay!
I've been at this job for 5 months, and I found the job
You work for money, Jacob.
Well, I do, but this is one of those jobs I saw. I'm like, oh, I have to apply for that.
At least try. Why not?
Uber has opened a facility here in Pittsburgh, and
cool.
they are looking for someone with my very unique skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like,
yeah, they are,
and they'll pay me a ton.
Yeah, because they're up and coming. That'd be cool.
Oh, their newest evaluation was 41 billion. Their valuation puts them at $41 billion.
You know what? I've heard some rumblings towards the future with Uber. With their who's the most afraid of Uber? Besides, I mean, the people they've already killed, the taxis, of course.
Who's that?
But do you know who's next in line to be the most afraid?
Who?
The last mile delivery guys. UPS and FedEx are going to get destroyed by Uber.
Oh no, huh? No, last mile will save FedEx. If they can do it cheaper, because here's
you
something.
think FedEx will just ship all their
Well,
what? No.
Well, no, because this is the key difference between FedEx and UPS for anyone out there who is mildly interested. UPS, they own all their trucks, they employ all their drivers. FedEx does not. The person who, if you get a FedEx package delivered to you, that person does not work for FedEx. They work for themselves or another company. FedEx goes to contractors and says, look, we're going to pay you this amount of money for this route. You can drive it or not. And that's how you do it. So, like, if you ever wanted to change careers, you could go buy up a couple FedEx routes, get a truck, and drive FedEx instead of your job.
Really? Interesting.
There's one guy up here who him and a friend started out with 2 routes, and now they own every route in Western Pennsylvania.
That's
and
America.
He doesn't even drive anymore. He has
of course not.
He has like 10 drivers or 15 or whatever drivers under him, making millions of dollars a year. But no, for FedEx especially, they would love if they were cheaper than what they were doing, they would fire all their contractors. There's like, screw you
look
guys.
for it in the future.
That's why if you ever get stuff on Amazon, it'll be shipped by UPS but delivered by the United States Postal Service. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
It happened a lot.
I don't pay attention enough,
That happened a lot when I was living in Oklahoma, but that's why, because last mile is the most expensive part of that trip.
Uber is going to take care of it.
That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But
That will be interesting. It'll be interesting if they could ever come up with an Uber food delivery service. They can get Sonic for you.
Oh, they're doing it. Well, not Uber isn't doing it, but there's a couple startups there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that type of technology. Or I want to say technology, but it's like a tool. Like Uber's the new kind of crowdsourced technology taxi tool. That's what this is. It's kind of a technology. I wonder if that type of technology is going to be implemented in other services.
Yeah, their facility here in Pittsburgh is for developing self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have like a self-driving Uber. You just call it, and it comes.
You don't own the car. Yeah, but there's a lot of people calling for a future where you don't own your car. A lot of car sharing, where it's mostly Uber. If you're not using your car specifically for a task, like moving farm equipment or, motorcycles or tools or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well,
if you just use your car for transportation.
If you live in the right place, that'd be great.
Right.
If you live anywhere on the Eastern Seaboard, that probably works. I don't know if that works in Houston or another big western southern city because they're just so spread out. But, anything...
If it takes over the way it works, though, if like every car is if most of the cars that are just transporting people, if they're just if that's how most of the people are doing it, then there would always be a car around.
Right, I'm just saying it's not cost effective for those kind of distances. Because you need one car for every person almost, because especially if you're commuting 30 miles a day, that's tying up the resource for a very long time.
But if it's self-driving cars, then traffic's going to go away and the commutes will become a lot less time.
God, I would hope so. Well,
they would have to. There would be no ego.
Well, if everyone obeyed the rules and merged and flowed correctly, yes, things would.
What if you did it with the computers that could communicate with each other?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Then you could do it within a couple feet at freeway speed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you can merge and no one cuts someone off and causes a wreck or
an accordion effect.
Right, and so if the self-driving
or you could even have. You could even have sophisticated software like an emergent, intelligent software system that runs across all of the network at once. So if some type of incident does happen and cause the accordion effect, it's all absorbed by the traffic for the next mile instead of, backing up like we do as humans.
Right. Well, you could instantly reroute
and then the roadways become 6-7 lanes instead of 4 lanes. Because only when you're passing somebody does it need to be 4 lanes. Otherwise, you could just have, it could just be open traffic. You just keep kind of flowing more like water particles through a tube. Mm-hmm. Traffic could move a lot more smoothly, especially at stop signs. Right? There would be no reason for stop signs at 4 ways. The cars would just space themselves out apart, knowing where they're all going.
Yeah. That's
assuming that the whole system is communicating with itself.
Right, and that's probably a bad assumption. It's just not there right now.
Well,
you would need interconnectivity at the millisecond level that just isn't there right now.
Not necessarily. The cars would take care of the millisecond driving, for right now of the car, but the networking could be done just from like a piggyback system. If one car can communicate to one car and then it can communicate to the car in front of it, that's good enough. I mean, it wouldn't have to be like 6 or 7 cars deep that were like my car's communicating with Tomball. It would just need to communicate with the car nearest it. You know, just almost like a Bitcoin system where as long as if it's close enough to the node, it's on the system. It could be separated from it and then brought back to the system. You know, just some type of...
Yeah.
But probably because all the car companies are ran by different companies, like Volvo runs Volvo and Chevy runs Chevy, they probably won't communicate like that. You know, Volvos will be really safe around other Volvos.
Well, unless it's a government standard, which it'll have to be. If it's going to be one of those things, if it is a self-driving car, it's going to have to work this way, period.
Right.
And that's the only safe way to do it. You could probably...
Well, you've heard that Tesla's going to release an update for the cars that you already own, where you're just going to be an autopilot from San Diego to...
Yeah, that I've seen that too. That looks really cool.
Where were they saying? San Diego to LA or whatever it was?
Elon Musk, man. That dude's crazy.
What is he? He's Iron Man, right? He's
well,
the life model Iron
Man. He was a co-founder of Amazon. So that's where his money came from. And he's doing SpaceX, Tesla. What else? He's doing a couple other big things, but those are the 2 big ones right now. He's working...
I thought he was also
He's working
involved in an internet company besides.
Well, he's involved in a ton of companies, but
but I thought it was like something huge. I thought it was like Amazon and like PayPal or something. Wasn't it?
Is he part of PayPal?
I can't remember, but I thought it was 2 major. You're like, holy shit, he got lucky on 2 of those. Yeah, that kind of thing.
And then you have, he's also working on like libertarian-based cities that are out in international waters that are man-made island cities.
Seasteads.
That would be kind of cool.
How much is he worth? Is he like a billionaire, right?
Oh, easy. Billions and billions.
So when people are freaking out because this company's losing millions of dollars, it's like not that big a deal to him?
I mean, millions.
Or is his personal wealth anything compared to like corporate wealth? Can you compare the two?
His personal wealth. His according to Google, he is worth 11.9 billion.
So he could run a deficit of, you know, like a couple $100 million for years, and it's no big deal to him, right?
I wouldn't say that, but he could easily run millions of dollars a year.
Right.
Let's see.
Or does his companies make money? Like, is Tesla making money?
Tesla is making money, or it's really close right now. They're right on that edge, I think. Okay.
Did you hear about the West Virginia? The Senate president, they're going to ban sales in West Virginia?
Direct sales. That's kind of common right now. There are old laws. But here's Elon Musk. It would only take 1/10 of his personal net worth to buy Coca-Cola. He could
what?
The market cap for Coca-Cola Bottling Consolidated, which means the value of every share outstanding.
Right.
Is
because it's a publicly traded company.
$1.06 billion. So he could buy
Coke.
He could buy Coke tomorrow without even thinking about it.
That doesn't make sense. Doesn't like the guy who owns Coke worth more than Elon Musk?
Oh,
or is Elon Musk just really rich?
He's worth 11 or 12 billion dollars, which is a good amount of money, but it's not. But I mean, so the market cap for Coke is every share outstanding times its market price.
Right.
And there's 58% of Coke is not owned by Coke. It's owned by other people. So he could go buy that 58% and own Coke.
That's insane. So Bill Gates could really move some weight around then with his money.
Oh yeah, because he's worth, according to this, $79.3 billion.
$79.3 billion. Is that enough money to save the planet?
Oh no!
Like,
oh God!
Can you go to the moon with that kind of money?
You go to the moon with that kind of money.
If he spent all of that money on like one of those save the race technologies, would it be enough to do it? Like, could he start a company that goes to the moon and mines hydrogen-3, and we run fusion reactors down here? Like, is that enough money to do that kind of thing?
You would think so.
That's weird. It would be weird to have that kind of power. Could he buy countries? Like, are there countries worth less than that?
Oh, absolutely.
That's weird. That's so weird that one person has that kind of cash. That's so much fucking money.
It is.
What would you do with that kind of cash?
I would probably do what he's doing, giving it mostly away.
I would do it a little more like Elon Musk. I would try to send us to Mars and create, the next net 2.0 or something, like virtual reality internet or something. I don't know. I would just do something crazy, right? Wouldn't you want to? Like,
oh, absolutely. Okay, so here...
I would trust somebody else to spend my money. I made it. I'm a badass. I can come up with some creative ways to spend it, right?
Yes.
I would rather Elon Musk spend his money than him give it to some charitable organization that's ran by politics and who knows how the president got to where he got. That's just somebody trying to spend somebody else's money. That's all he is. You need somebody like Elon Musk who's spending his own cash, making badass cars that are self-driving. Cool shit like that.
Okay. Costa Rica is worth $64 billion.
So he could buy Costa Rica
and have $15 billion left over, and still be worth more than Elon Musk.
Just if you were curious.
I couldn't imagine, because at that point, just interest alone on that is more money than I'll ever see in my entire life.
I wonder if they make bills big enough that if he had a stack of them, could he give them away quick enough?
No.
Like if they made it, do they make like $1,000 bill?
I know for a while they were making $5,000 bills, but I don't think that's the case anymore.
$5,000 bills. So let's just say, if it once was legal tender, it still is. If he had a stack of $5,000 bills, could he just like make it rain? Just, you know what I mean?
Oh,
faster than he makes it.
Let me. I'll do the math. Because I'm not kind
Jacob does the math. It's going to be a section.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, Jacob does math.
83.
You do it like your dad? Can you do it in your head real easy?
Oh, no.
Your dad scares me.
Oh, he's
like, do you have a demon that lives in your head that tells you the answers to math problems?
Let's see. Billions. Okay, equals this divided by 5,000. If you had a $5,000 bill, you would be 15.8 million bills.
It's like, no, he couldn't give it away fast enough because he couldn't give that pile away, much less the pile of money that would be making on interest, the extra money that'd be adding on to that pile.
The 5% interest, if you could get 5% interest on the whole thing, is almost $4 billion a year.
So how many is 4 billion? How many bills would he have to throw away 5 billion or 4 billion?
4 billion?
Just to get rid of the interest a year.
800,000 $5,000 bills.
Divide that by 365. So how many would have to give away a day?
Okay, so we're going to do $100 bills because that's a denomination everyone knows. He'd have to give away, so he'd have 39.5 million $100 bills just to get rid of the interest.
And he could just stand on top of the Empire State Building with
108,000 $100 bills a day just to get rid of the interest.
Holy shit. You could just stand on the Empire State Building and just blow them off.
Yeah.
And just cover New York in $100 bills.
Let's see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 790 million $100 bills.
And that's mostly off of Microsoft and the operating system of Windows? That's supplying the world with personal computers.
Yes, the software to run the commercial, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the great thing, like that's the big And I don't know why people ever tried to have this debate between Apple and Microsoft because they're
Mm-hmm.
completely different companies. Because Bill Gates looked at the world and said, you know what? I don't have to build the damn computer. I can just put my software on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Apple just wants to build a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's just a different philosophy.
I heard that Steve Jobs didn't wear his oxygen mask when he was dying because he didn't like the design of it. The ergonomics of the oxygen mask was too shitty. He was that kind of guy. He was just like, But that's also why his phones, like the first iPhone and stuff, like the design of it was so. It was like from the future. It was just so goddamn slick.
It was
so visionary. It was unbelievable.
Huh? No one.
It was more slick and badass than anything Star Trek ever had.
Oh,
because if you remember on Star Trek, they had screens and keypads. It wasn't an interactive thing where they were pinching and zooming on the. You know what I mean? If 7 of 9 did something, she clicked on a thing and then the screen zoomed in and showed it, or they told the computer with a voice command. It's nothing like the future that he brought, where you swipe and you pull and you. Because not even just the touch screen is that innovative, but it was the whole gestures that came along with it, where 5 fingers do one thing and 4 fingers across do another, and the 2 fingers can pinch and then rotate and then zoom, and really bringing that interactiveness to the future was awesome. I'm glad we had it, or have it now.
Yeah, what's really bad is when you try to zoom in on a map. That's paper.
Mm-hmm. Or a picture.
I've never tried to do a picture, but I've tried to do a map.
Okay. So I use Android, and it's not pinch to zoom. It's double tap. Like you can double tap on stuff. Like pinch to zoom does work, but like double tapping will pinch to zoom about what you normally do wherever your thumb double tapped.
Right.
So I've gotten used to just double tapping on the screen when I want to look at something more specific. And that is such an easy, non-specific habit because it only takes one finger and it can be done so, subconsciously. It's like, oh, I just want to look closer at that. That I just double click on pictures all the fucking time, dude. All the time. If I'm looking at pictures or I'm looking at work, like on plans, I'll just double click and it's like, oh no, I have to physically move my head closer to zoom this in. It's
What was really bad is someone I knew had printed out a Google map. And so it had all the stuff around the edges. And I seriously 4 or 5 times on that trip. Not just like once, oh my God, I'm stupid. Like 4 or 5 times, like trying to flick that shit open and it wouldn't go.
Or when you're dealing with something that has the X printed on it, like a picture of the industry, you're like, okay, I'll just close that. It's like, it won't close. Yeah, that's funny. I wonder how often other people do that. You should send us an email, listeners.
Oh, yes. What's funny is like we're right at that perfect age where we can remember before the internet, the dawn of the internet, Internet 2.0, and then what happened after smartphones.
Right.
Because if you really look at it, the internet really changed with the smartphone. Like that's what really, really did it was the smartphone because it just put so many people online and things had to be optimized. Now they don't have to because of, internet speeds. I mean, depending on where you are, you can get 50 megabits a second through LTE.
Yes.
And you can fly.
Mm-hmm. And what's really weird about it wasn't just, well, I guess it's a bunch of things, but I guess it's the fact that everybody had to have one because it became cool. And so everything became optimized for it. So it kind of adopted where you had to adopt it. And then the fact that you were on all the time, not just when you got home in the mornings or before you went to work or at work, because some people were using the internet at work. But now it's like you stop at a stoplight and you're on the internet. That's what really brought the internet like to the front of the consciousness of humans. Like we use it.
What's really weird is when you get the smartwatch. It's been an interesting transition because, listener, I guess I've talked about it on the podcast. I got a Pebble, which is the original smartwatch. Well,
right.
Original. New original.
Right.
Like the old ones with the calculators and the games on.
I do. I do.
Or the
Always
ones that have
wanted
those
one.
stupid like little tiger LED games in them.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
forgotten about those. Yeah, that's true. I remember those for sure.
Uh, so yeah, it's been interesting. Cause like it's been nice because I don't miss any notifications now because it buzzes. It'll buzz when you get a notification, so you can just look down at your watch and like read your text message or read.
Does it work that way? You can actually read the text.
Oh yeah, here I'll be right back. I'll go grab it. I'll show you.
Okay, I'll talk to the nice folks about. I have no idea. That's really weird to be put on the spot like that and just be left to yourself. I've done it to him, but he has music that we have to play, so I guess I'll sing a song. Da 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 da. Okay, that's silly. Apparently I am not any good at singing. I mean, I already knew that, but now y'all know it. Oh, he's back. Oh, thank
I'm
God.
getting some help from the missus.
Oh, yay. My missus was supposed to bring me a drink, but she doesn't love me.
So this is my
Don't tell her I
Pebble.
said that.
You can see there's the text.
Zoom, fix, something.
Yeah. It's not great with the camera, but then I can click here, hit
Uh-huh.
reply, and I can.
Oh, wow, you can
there's all
actually
these
say something.
templates that I can.
Ah, awesome.
And there's all these little apps in it. So you have different watch faces.
Nice. You can download different apps?
Yes. And like this right here is my Jawbone app. It's like pedometer, so that big number down there is how many steps I've taken today. It also has, simple apps. Like you got your stopwatch app, which is pretty standard, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it pairs to your phone. And there's an app on your phone that lets you download things and transfer them. That's a pretty slick app. It looks pretty good.
Oh, it does look good.
I haven't fully explored it. It's not as functional as some of the Google Watches, but it's also a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I was waiting a few generations on the smartwatch just to kind of see where they panned out.
Well,
I'm not sure. I was really hoping the Google Glass thing with the big visor across your face where your just whole reality become augmented reality was going to be a thing. I don't care how goofy I look. I look like something out of like Star Trek's and version of the future.
I really thought about buying one when they went up to public sale.
For $1,100, I wanted one so bad.
I saw an article today. I don't remember where, but it was most people believe that augmented reality, like the Google Glass, will start cutting majorly into cell phone sales by 2020.
That'd be awesome. I would love to live in a semi-virtual reality where you have this, but I'm okay with like a full-blown visor, that covers almost like ski goggles, like Master Chief, like full-blown heads-up display. When you talk to somebody, it shows you their Yelp review. Anybody that interacts with you can give you stars. So you can walk by somebody and be like, oh, he's a 1-star. Oh, that dude's a 5-star. I bet he's pretty fucking cool. Little tidbits. It's like, this guy has great weed. Stay away from this guy. He's a cop.
There's an episode in Community all about that. Like being able to rate people and always know what their rating is and how the ratings become currency.
It's going to be a thing, man. You're going to have an augmented reality ski goggles like Master Chief. It's going to show you how much ammo you got left in your clip. It's going to do all kinds of cool shit, man.
Yeah. I sent you the articles on Ars Technica.
Right.
It was God, I can't remember the name of it.
I have my phone.
Yeah, I got it. But it's Elite Dangerous, which you can actually get on Steam right now. But did you look at the
I looked through the article, but I was driving when you sent it to me, and I barely got home.
The thing about it is, A, it's gorgeous, and B, it's right now they're developing it on the Oculus Rift as well. So it's a space fighter simulation where you're, full.
Right.
It's the first time I've looked at a VR product and gone, yes, give it to me now.
You know how much the Oculus Rift is?
How much?
$350.
That's about right.
$350. You can go buy an Oculus Rift right now.
If I had
But it's
it.
the development 2 kit. It's not the
Yeah.
production kit yet.
Yeah, I'll wait for Valve. I trust Valve more than just about anyone
I'm
on
just
the internet.
afraid that the games are going to be already like Oculus Rift, optimized, and nobody's going to optimize for VR. Like it's just like I hope one of them doesn't have to win out. I hope that if a game's optimized for VR, it'll just be all VR. Whatever set you got to use will just automatically work.
Yeah, that's the
Hopefully.
nice thing about like having something like Windows is every game will run inside of it. And so, but Valve has been. I mean, Valve doesn't seem to be the kind of company that wants to be super exclusive.
No,
I mean,
they're
they
real
sell
cool about
tons
that
of
kind
people's
stuff.
games.
Hmm.
The only reason they don't sell games is because the people who make the games won't sell on Steam.
Right. Hmm.
Like if you
That's
ever used
exactly right.
like EA's Origin,
I don't use it.
oh, it's terrible.
It's horrible. It's worse than terrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's whatever the bad word is.
And Ubisoft's is terrible.
It's even worse. The Uplay?
Oh yeah. Oh, Kelly was in the middle, like probably 10 to
Assassin's
15
Creed.
hours in Assassin's Creed Unity, and it crashed on her. And what happened is the cloud saving, which is an automatic option, instead of having to turn it on, you have to turn it
You turn it
off. She lost it all. Corrupted everything in the cloud. 15 hours gone. She hasn't touched it again. She really wants to, but when you're that deep in, it's hard to get yourself back up to get all the way there.
It is.
'Cause especially,
absolutely
at our age, we can't sit down and play for 10 hours straight. It's days.
Well,
if
it's
not
2 or 3 weeks investment worth of playing.
Oh, she was so pissed.
Woman, hell have no fury, like a woman scorned.
She emailed them, cursed them out, and all sorts of stuff.
She was mad.
Gosh. This is just a little tidbit about my wife. You will never hear anyone curse more than my wife playing a competitive video game. It is.
Motherfucker.
It's so.
This little cunt licker motherfucker over here can't play a fucking goddamn game to save his fucking bullshit life, motherfucker. Yeah.
It's so over the top. It's hilarious. Just sitting here playing Dota beside her. She's like, fuck. For the most part, she doesn't curse very much. But once you get her playing, especially a competitive video game, if it's BioShock or whatever, she doesn't care.
Yeah, but give her 2 beers and give her a game of Dota.
Oh no,
and it's
she doesn't
on.
need
Somebody's
beer.
getting called something. He's like, I don't even talk. I just take
I
one.
just tell her, like, baby, it's okay. It's just a game.
Shh. She's like, ah! And you're like, okay. She just looks at you and her eyes go straight through your chest and you're like, okay. All right. Fuck them, baby. Fuck them. I don't. That's funny.
Back when we used to play Team Fortress 2 together. I think she was worse with Team Fortress because you could actually shoot people.
She got a little into it, huh?
Oh yeah, well,
Say hello to my little friend.
that's her games. Like she loves FPSs. That's her bread and butter when it comes
Really?
to video. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Played all the Halos. FPSs and Pokemon because she's a girl. Like it's like right, girls have to love Pokemon. It's just how it is.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I heard all nerds had to love it. I've never played it. Never even given it a chance. It might be fun, but never given it a chance.
It's like a bad Zelda.
That could still be pretty good. That's like bad pizza.
I heard something I actually played with a little bit. Is all you have to do to beat Pokemon is hold up and just keep clicking A, and you'll beat the game.
Ha! I wonder if that would actually work. Damn. My
But
dinner's here. Just
yeah.
worry. I'll just keep it. We'll eat it later. I want the drink though. Asked for that forever ago.
I've bought her a couple Pokemon games since we've been together. Now, do you have you do any like Nintendo handhelds, like 3DS or anything like that?
I bought my son one,
Have you
and
got?
then I ended up playing it more than he did. but it has since been retired, I think.
The Majora's no.
It was
redone,
Ocarina
but
of Time.
Ocarina of Time, yes. Have you seen
It was done
that?
in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
I owned it. I have
it's
it.
gorgeous.
It's incredible. It's crazy. And the 3D fucking works. It is weird. It's almost like you're looking into a hologram. I don't know how to explain it because you're holding it, and if you move your head to the left, you can look around corners. You know, like if you, like it's fucking.
See, that's what I want.
Incredible.
That's the kind of gaming I want, where I can do this and like look around.
Yeah, cheat it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait for. Oh, so I've been really into this video game recently called iRacing.
Mm-hmm. I was meant to ask you about that.
Oh my god! If you have any inclination that you enjoy driving a car quickly and you want to race, this triggers all of those buttons, dude. So the thing about iRacing is it's a online race car simulator, right? So they try to be as to real life as I guess they can be,
without actual gravity.
Right? They're not the best, but they're pretty good. I mean, it's it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
How would you compare it to like a GT game,
like Gran Turismo 6?
Whatever's the most recent one.
Or like Forza 5?
Sure, whatever.
They're both the same. So they have a different approximation on reality, but their picture of reality is about the same clear fuzziness. Right? So this one gets the colors a little better, but this one has the contrast off a little. You know, so they're both, but they're about comparable. So it is that good. If you can drive really well in iRacing, you can drive really well in real life. You know, it translates pretty freaking clear. But the awesome part about iRacing, and I guess the setback to iRacing, okay? So I guess that it has, this is a coin. It's $9 a month.
Right.
You don't just buy the game for $50. The other coin is there's no AI. You cannot race against a computer in this game. Any car that you see in iRacing is another per human being. So it's like a World of Warcraft for racers. And it has a really aggressive licensing system. So you have to have your I rating, which is your iRacing rating, like how good you are at winning and how fast you can go around the tracks. It keeps all of that in track. And then you also have a safety rating. And the game is very hardcore about, like, if you drive off the track, that's 1 point against your safety rating. If you lose control of your car and the back end comes around the front end, that's 2 points off. If you wreck into another car, that's 4 points. You can only get 17 per race and you get kicked out. And your safety rating has to be above a 4 before you can even race in C class, B class, A class, and then, eventually Pro League. So the game is real. Once you get past rookies and you're actually driving with people that worry about their safety rating and worry about it, it's not just dive bombing and bouncing off the guy and, going on. There's damage simulation, so if you do wreck, you have to go to the pits and it wastes minutes. And it's just intense if you really enjoy racing, And because it's that $9 a month like World of Warcraft, the servers are amazing. The cars don't blink in and out. Like if you're within an inch of the car, he's right there, and if he breaks it, and there's not a lot of lag like you would have to deal with like in first-person shooters or even low-supported internet games. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right. So I highly fucking recommend that game, dude. I've been into it. I don't even know why I started talking about it. Why did I start talking about iRacing?
We were talking about video games. I don't know.
Oh, well, anyway. That's what I've been into lately, and holy shit, dude. What a good game.
Yeah. As for me, it's still Dota. I don't know. This is an addiction that's gotten deep. I've played very few games that have held my attention like this.
Because like going on vacation because of this game.
Yeah.
Kind of half excuse, half,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this weekend I've been meaning to learn some new characters.
I'm sorry. Your characters, remember. Okay. I remember why we started talking about iRacing.
Okay.
You were telling me about the game that you saw in VR, and you were talking about how pretty it was.
Oh, right.
And I told you, well, no, I haven't seen that, but I did watch a video about this iRacing that I've been playing, and then you asked me about it, and I explained it to you. But the video that I saw was a demonstration of the Oculus Rift 2 development kit, and he's sitting in the cockpit of the car, right? So as he's talking, and he's looking around, and oh my god, dude, it's so beautiful. So anyway, if you want to talk about the game originally as you're talking about, or if you want to go back to the character development that you really started to work on.
Well, yeah, well, I want to touch a little bit on VR because I was thinking about this while you're talking. You know what game I want to see just in perfect, beautiful, high definition virtual reality?
Wait, let me guess. What was the game with the girls and the volleyball on the beach? Not
Dead
that
or
one.
Alive Beach Volleyball, but
Dead
no.
or Alive beach volleyball. That one? Is that what
No. Think about it. Come on, you can get.
Okay,
this
so
one.
a real guess. A real guess.
A real guess. It's an old game.
Is it Pod Racer?
No.
Oh.
That would be cool, but no.
Oh, you want to fly like X-Wings and TIE Fighters?
Also, no. Close, but well, not really close, but would still be awesome.
Fuck. I don't know. What is it?
I want to go to Myst.
Oh, that would be so.
Could you imagine, like, you and me just be able to, like, go and play it together inside and walk around, and especially, full 3D.
You win. That's it. That wins, man. That would be epic. That would be epic. That would be so cool. To play Myst and Riven again? Oh. Or not even again, just a new version of them. Ooh, that would be fun, even if, like you were saying, if you could have another person to go with you. Oh, what a great idea.
Yeah, I really thought about doing the Myst online for a while, but I never did.
I looked into it. It just...
Yeah, it seemed...
Yeah, it doesn't fit the idea of the game.
Right, and that's the thing, is it...
One of the things about the game was the ambiance. Was the world that being like, what? I'm here alone? What's going on?
Especially the first Myst, where there was no one, except for the fuckers in the books that were super creepy. That's the first time a game creeped me out. I think it was like 9.
Yeah, and it creeped you out just because you were walking around in the woods by yourself, and you
hear
felt
the
like
noises
you were fucking by yourself.
And of course, you have your terrible headphones on, but they, at the time, you thought they were awesome, but they were terrible. But like, you could hear the little chirp in the back. You're like, oh god!
I remember the wind and the mist.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. Yeah, that. Oh, what a great game, dude! What a great game. That was one of those games that really incorporated like sound design.
Oh yeah.
To really to help with the creepiness factor and stuff, Or even some of the puzzles were sound based.
Right, the rocket ship world was all sound based.
I quit playing that game twice because of that fucking world.
Yeah, that's the only one I couldn't beat without help.
I didn't understand that it was I think you had to tell me. I don't think I ever beat it. I think you had to explain to me how to beat it. That each time you had to listen, like the spring sound means go backwards. And the doing means go left. And the fuck you. Fuck that. Yeah. Great game, though. Highly recommend that one.
Yeah, if y'all haven't played it, it's cheap on Steam. Oh, it's so good. And don't play
Riven.
Don't play the Masterpiece Edition. Play the original.
Yeah, play the original.
The original is prettier. It's slower. It's a bit more cumbersome, but it's so good.
It's so good. Still good. Yeah, it used I guess it was Flash-based kind of animation or something.
Yeah, it was more like stills.
Like fab.
Like would click. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and a buddy, I went over to his house. I took my actually laptop I'm podcasting on right now because I just bought them on Steam. We hooked it up to the TV like 2:30 in the afternoon and beat Riven and Myst and Riven back to back in one night.
Wow. I never could beat Riven.
Riven's tough.
It's just the one puzzle. I never could figure out the puzzle with the 5 pillars that go up and down with the animals.
I couldn't do it either. Like my friend could, and that's...
Yeah,
that's actually, if you know what you're doing, the game doesn't take very long to get through.
Right, yeah, it's just 5 little pillars that you got to click on. Yeah, I know, yeah.
But, yeah, it's so good. And I never played Uru. I don't know why. I think at that point I was just kind of done with them, but so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of those great games for me. Just top tenner. That's a top tenner for me.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be great to play that in virtual reality. You know, something like Call of Duty would be cool if they had like a gun controller that you brought up and it brought it up for you and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's the future, right?
Yeah, I mean that is the future. Yeah.
Okay, so this is
How?
Go ahead.
Well,
Go
how
ahead.
awesome would Dota be if you could go into first person and play first person virtual reality Dota?
It would be. It would be. It's just a different kind of game. Like it would be cool, but so much Dota is away from the character. Like being able to see the map. Maybe if you could always see the map and stuff, and like have a HUD with a map going, so you can always see the map. And
I wonder what the best way to incorporate a Dota style game into virtual reality. Would it give you God mode head where you could just look around the map, you know, or so you can look at what you're dealing with, but instead of like having to click, you could just look down the lane, you know, like you're actually kind of hovering above the whole world. I don't know, that'd be interesting.
The Dota podcast I like to listen to, they were talking about it, and it's like how cool it would be if you could do sort of an augmented reality and put the map on like your coffee table, and so all of you are sitting around the map playing your character on the coffee table.
Shit, that would be cool. That would be fun. Could you do that with the that Microsoft holographic thing they're talking about building?
You would think so. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I've just seen that one tech demo that we showed. Oh God, it was podcast number 2, 1,
or 1, like yeah, 2 or
way
1,
back and way back.
Yeah, yeah.
And the before time, the long
before we were even a real podcast. We're official now.
We are
episode official. 11.
Oh, we sat down this weekend, and I finally got Kelly to watch This Is Spinal Tap.
It goes to 11.
Hey, this one goes to 11. But hey, why don't you just make it 10? But this one, if we just need that little bit extra, we just turn it out to 11.
Yeah, but couldn't you just have an amp that goes to 10 that's the same loud as one that goes to 11?
But this
is like, yeah.
This one goes to 11. There's so many tropes in that movie that get started in that movie. Like the person always dying.
Realize, that they don't even realize that's where it came from.
Mm-hmm. Like they're huge in Japan. This is Spinal Tap. The drummer always dying. They go through a drum. Like every time you see the drummer, it's a different drummer. It's a classic. If you guys have not seen it, it's just a classic.
It's a classic, and it's even old for us.
Oh yeah, it came out in like 87, 88.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Maybe 89.
So don't think it's just because we're old men or something that we're recommending this.
No.
It's just classic.
Oh, 84.
It's like recommending the Beatles.
It's older than you are, Ryan.
Damn it. Wait, how old are you? You're barely older than it?
Well, it came out in 84, so it might be older than me. Let's see if I can find the release date. I know it's older than you, but it may not be older than me.
Oh, damn.
March 2nd. Yep, it's older than I am. So yeah, it's an old movie, but it's
we're still
totally worth it. And
it's on.
It's early Rob Reiner before he got weird. Rob Reiner, for those who don't know, did Princess Bride, which I guess that's maybe a dated reference for people too. I don't know. With the way the internet is, if you're 25 with the way the internet is, you may not have seen The Princess Bride, but you've basically seen the entire Princess Bride in GIF form at some point.
Yeah, that is true. Didn't you really enjoy that movie?
Oh, it's a great movie. I mean, it's a classic 80s.
I've never seen it. I have no idea what it even is about.
Oh, it's this over-the-top fantasy love story that's just... And it's supposed to be...
Is it a comedy on purpose?
Yes.
Okay. Is it kind of like the over-the-top Mike Myers kind of comedy on purpose? Like The Airplane?
Some of it is, but some of it's very understated. It's a very big mix of...
Just good...
cliches and...
Yeah,
poking fun at the genre, the whole
making fun of itself. And
right.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Rats of Unusual Size. And, And I think part of it's supposed to be like Pilgrim's Progress, where he has to go through the pit of despair and the flaming whatevers.
It's also another movie that, if you haven't seen it, that comes from that kind of genre that you need to see just to complete your life, is Mighty Python: Search for the Holy Grail.
Oh, absolute classic.
Absolute classic. And I don't even blame you if you can't get through the whole thing on the first sitting.
Oh no!
But you got to get through it.
It's much more of a first half movie. The second half kind of draws. But if what you do, and this, I don't recommend this, but I'm going to tell you what you do anyway. You play the Monty Python drinking game.
Oh yeah. Every
time they say Grail, you take a sip.
Smashed, huh?
You go through like 12 beers. It's terrible.
Sounds pretty good, dude.
At the end of it, you're just crying. You're like, no, God, don't say it again.
Don't say it again.
Don't say it again.
Whatever you do.
Okay, so one night, I was hanging out with some friends, and we decided, for whatever reason, I don't know why, that we were going to play a drinking game with South Park. And so there's this episode, God, it's got to be about season 14 or so, 13 or 14, where Cartman wants to be a race car driver, or NASCAR driver, but he's too smart. So he's trying to make himself poor and stupid enough to be a race car driver.
He's too smart?
He's too smart and too rich. So he has to
that's funny.
Right. And so the entire thing is like they're talking to Danica Patrick, and she's talking about how like grip coefficients and all this stuff. But we just because he gets sponsored by Vagisil, and so we decided that every time they said Vagisil, you had to drink. I went through 4 beers in 20 minutes. They said Vagisil so many times.
Yeah, you're probably taking pretty good chugs though. You don't mind your beer.
I don't, but that was nasty beer. Oh, man. Just flowing tonight. So this is what happens when we don't have a script. Oh, I remember. Okay, so not really a big thought, but sort of a fun, interesting question instead of a big thought tonight.
Okay.
Okay, if you could take your knowledge of something and replace it with something else to the same level, what would it be?
Oh, interesting. So, like, when I was a kid, I became an expert at yo-yoing.
Correct.
Like, near pro level. Like, spent way too many hours yo-yoing for several years of my life. I could take that skill, sacrifice it, and replace it with, like, piano?
Anything.
Ooh. What the fuck? This is epic. Oh. And it has to be like when we're doing like equivalent exchange.
Correct. So
like
whatever,
I need to give up my video game skills for archery skills, and I'm a really good archer.
Correct.
But if I give up my cooking skills for like laundry skills, they're both just still going to be shitty.
Correct.
Okay. So there's a part of you that wants to be the financial guy, right? And it's like just sacrifice the thing that you've wasted your life doing and just put it towards something else like golf or
programming
or like I'm a bank trader. I'm like just really good at trading stocks now. Like I'm a day trader like from fucking hell. Would that be worth it? That's a really kind of an interesting philosophical thing, right?
Exactly, right? What are you willing to cut out of your life?
See, I have an interesting like backup thing from like I guess a few people do though, right? Like we're all gonna have probably that one thing that's a part of do we give up all of our memories? Like is it completely like is this like if I'm making a deal with like a evil genie? He takes all of the memories too. He takes like the whole essence of that from you.
Yes, completely gone.
So if I wanted to give up my yo-yoing, I give up all memories and the joy of yo-yoing. Like that's kind of the like I don't get to remember being good at yo-yoing.
Correct.
Right? So if you gave up your skateboarding, like your not skateboarding, but your rollerblading, You give up all the joy and the memories of, oh, man. But then you're the most badass at something modern. Wow, that's a good fucking question.
I'll even make it more interesting. You get the new memories of doing that other thing instead.
Oh, and then that changes you. Because then those memories help affect who you were and the friends you had. That's like a genie going, look, we can go back and change time, homie. And you don't have to pay any of the dues to change the time. We go back, we'll change the moment, I'll move you back to the future, here you are. Fuck. Interesting. I would give up. All of the things that I have are so precious to me. But there are certain things that I would want to be good at financially. I would sacrifice my... If I could give up my yo-yoing to be financially stable, like I have the skill, do I have the ability? Like if I give up my yo-yoing skills, am I now a good golfer? Like do I have the ability to be a good golfer?
It's equivalent. Whatever it was, say if you were 95th percentile yo-yo, you're going to be a 90th percentile period. Or golfer, cook.
Ooh, that's an interesting. You don't even have to go so dramatic, right? You could just kind of go small. Right. Something that you might have been kind of good at, and now you don't really care about that anymore.
Random knowledge you've collected that you don't really care about, but you can spit out like crazy.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Because for me, right?
Right.
I'm a sports dude. I love sports. I love them. But I know so much about so many sports I don't give a shit about. Like I can talk tennis with you for an hour. Or I hate tennis.
You got into a sport, like you were really into like a specific college basketball team for a little bit, but then you move. You know, like from this, you have memories from when you were a kid, and then memories from when you were. It's not memories though. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about skills. You can't give up your.
We're trading, equivalency. So.
I would give up my yo-yoing to be. You know what? I'd probably give up my yo-yoing to be a great writer. Fuck. I don't know. I don't have a good one. Do you? Let me think about it. Give me one of yours that you. What do you think? What would you do?
It's there's. I don't know. That's
like what is the currency that you have that you think is even on the table?
Well, I could give up what I do now for a living.
Oh, I like that plan. I'll totally fucking give up all of my skills in being able to run a fucking wire and put in a security panel just to be even a chef or a computer pro. Oh, yeah. I would give up all of that just to be the best cameraman in L.A. Yeah. Okay. Fuck yeah. I like your idea is way less philosophical and deadening to my psyche.
But see, I also thought about other things too, like the ingrained knowledge that I have about certain things. Like, I used to bowl. Like, I used to be a really good bowler before I blew out my shoulders. One reason my shoulders all messed up.
Right.
And I could talk to you like entry angles, frictions, coverings, board. Yeah, oil thickness. I knew the minutia of that sport so well.
That's because you're a nerd.
I am. That's not the point here. But I don't know. Like
would you want to give that up though? You have a lot of memories from when you were bowling.
I do have a lot of memories. A lot of good memories.
But it's probably worth a lot too, though.
If I could have that level of detail of anything else,
wow. That's high value.
It's really high value.
It's weird to think about the value you've collected in your life for your RPG character in this game that we call life, right? When you look back on them, you're like, that's a really weird skill that I acquired for 3 years. Like, what the fuck was I doing for those 3 years? Like, why did I just go balls over head over heels. I mean, I've got 6 different shoes and 4 balls, and yeah, it's weird that we can do that as humans.
Yeah. When I blew my shoulder, I was about a 195 average.
Damn. My brother threw a 300.
Nice.
Yep. My dad threw a 299 twice. And I think he quit playing. I think he quit bowling after the second one. I think he was pretty upset.
Yeah, that would be tough. Yeah, if I could trade that for something, I probably would. Man. Part of me... Oh, man, I don't know. Part of me wants to be... I would even move on to give up some big sports for some other things. Like, no, not baseball. Basketball. I'd give up I'd give up all my knowledge about basketball to have that much knowledge about programming or like managing information systems or something. Like,
you really enjoy the programming and information systems as much as you enjoy it that much?
It's something, if I knew better, I would really enjoy, and it's really lucrative. I'm just thinking
There's
more.
a lot of things that's really lucrative, though.
Right.
Like what if let's just change the question up a little bit more. What do you wish you were when you grew up? I guess is kind of the question. Like, if you could choose any of the careers now that you're an adult enough to go, oh, that's an option? My parents didn't tell me I could have been a stunt driver for obvious reasons, but they didn't tell me that there is a career path to make you a stunt driver. There is a career path to being a camera guy in LA. There is a career path to being a farmer in Idaho. Like, those are all true actual options that if you had chose the path soon enough with enough clarity and drive, you could have done. Which path do you wish you'd have chose?
Oh, man.
Not the one that you wish you would have had all the skills and ability. Like, you don't, I wish I could have been a pro football player, obviously, or whatever, right? But who you are, just in where you wish you were.
I'm torn. I'm torn on this one. Because this is sort of the duality of Jacob coming through here. Because anyone who knows me knows I run on about 2 planes all at the same time. Because part of me would love to be that guy who's just running that huge ranch. 100,000 acres out in the middle of Wyoming. That's all mine. Thousands of cattle. Fixing
Thousands
fence.
of acres.
Yeah, just
miles of fences.
Being that guy sleeping under the...
Yeah, you don't see people for days because you're
sleeping
going out
under the
checking
stars.
fences.
And part of me would...
You have a dog that's so loyal, he dies for you. That kind of loyal dog, that kind of...
Yeah, part of me wants to be that. Part of me wants to be the guy out on Wall Street just making bank, without going to jail. Legally making bank. Making...
A real Captain of
I
Industry.
want to be the guy who turns down a $3 million $3 million a year offer because it's only half of what he's currently making.
That's too small. If I wanted to be part of New York, I'd want to be one of the names, one of the players. One of the big... If I was going to be that into the corporate side, I'd want to be one of the huge vampires of the game, I think.
And part of me would just love to... I mean, I have very little idea how to do it, but actually, no. No, this is it. This is it. I would want to be a director.
Yeah.
Direct movies. I would love it.
You'd be good at TV show, maybe.
You
should be the producer of a TV show.
Producers don't do a whole lot.
They make all the decisions.
Yeah, that's mostly directors and other people. Maybe for TV shows, but for movies, most of the part producers are just title credits.
Pretty sure Jerry Bruckheimer does a lot of work on his production. I think there's certain levels of producers, but I'm pretty sure
Let's
the
see
producers...
here nor there. That's it. That's it. If I could make
the director
movies,
or the producer, the guy who's making the making the decisions, making the movie.
Yeah, but I would want to be the director. I would want to be like making the shots and
telling people where to put the cameras and
just seeing it, feeling it. Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be awesome.
So do you have a recommends for us, Ryan?
Mm-hmm. This week's a health one.
Ooh.
You know, in light of my back being so hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to really, really improve your life, very simply, this is like one of those, like, it can't be that simple to do this much good. But when you wake up, like literally when you wake up, you get out of bed. I mean, if you got to go pee, you go pee, right? But it literally needs to be like one of the first things you do. Drink at least 6 ounces of water. A small to medium-sized glass of water. Every morning. And see how much difference it makes. It just gets the whole system going. Yep. And I do believe that's most likely because we've always, like, evolutionarily or in just history's past, it's traditional just to be thirsty. Like, water probably wasn't as easy to get. So you most likely drank, you know, a little bit of water when you woke up. I don't know. For some reason, the system seems to run better. So try that. Just drink a glass of water every morning before you do anything else. Before you take your shower, before you brush your teeth, before you take a crap, you know. It just activates. I don't know. It just sends a signal throughout the whole body like, okay, here we go. Gets everything lubed up, gets everything working for the, you know, breakfast. And anyway, that's it. That's the simple one this week.
Nice. Yeah, and if you want to lose weight, eat a little more. I mean, not like more, but more often.
It's more often?
Yes, keeps the metabolism going. That's actually kind of what your water does when you drink it. Is it gets, once you put something in your stomach, it activates the metabolism, and so it starts running and churning and gets blood flowing.
The secret to the metabolism thing with the food is if you're only eating 1 or 2 meals a day, or maybe you eat one big meal a day, and then the next day you eat 2 small meals, or, you know, a small meal and a big meal, and you're real kind of unorganized and you're really kind of gorging yourself with one major meal a day, what you're doing, if you think about it, to your body that has no real way to tell what's going on other than the food you're giving it, like if that's how it's going to base it's like, what are we getting here? It thinks you're starving. It thinks there's just enough food and too much competition that you're just, all you can get at the short intervals that you can get it as much as you can get in your mouth as quickly as you can, right?
Right.
So your body thinks, oh, there's a shortage of food, so it tries to start storing all of the extra fat that it can. But on the other hand, if you're eating a handful of food, say every hour, you know, you eat one good handful of, you know, nuts or berries or whatever, and you keep doing that kind of stuff, your body thinks there's just so much food laying around that you can just pick it up off the ground and eat it, that it's like, dude, we got plenty of food. Let's turn the system into hyperdrive and start getting some work done. And that's why the metabolism picks up. So that's why it's recommended. And that is definitely 42 science. That is not real science. I wouldn't look that up. I wouldn't look that up.
Well, if everything goes well, this week will be my last week of physical therapy for my shoulder. So
yay!
I actually get back to the gym and start lifting and doing all that good stuff.
Fun.
Oh, yeah, except for I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to make the gym before work, which sucks.
At least the snow won't be there.
Yeah, that's always a bummer. That's the problem with the snow, is I always felt bad because, you know, leaving it early in the morning, you kind of got to clear your driveway at 5:30 in the morning, and, you know, it's basically like your snowblower is basically like running a push-behind lawnmower. I guess it's one of those things here. Everyone's like, yeah, it sucks, but we understand. You know, my neighbor has a gigantic Chevy F-250 4x4. He doesn't have an issue, but I do. So he can go straight to hell.
You hear that, neighbor? You ever listen to this? Fuck you. And your truck. I found something that reminded me of you.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Let's see how close I was. Are you a Marvel fan?
Mm-hmm.
I found the entire Marvel character hierarchy, starting with the most powerful and ending with the least.
Most powerful Archangel?
The one above all, also known as TOAA for short, the absolute origin of all things in the Marvel Omniverse. He is the original creator by which all things extend from. There are none above his linear infinite's power. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He has only showed up a few times in comic history, most notably once to help Spider-Man, helping him down the correct path. Then number 2 is the Fulcrum, who is essentially the right-hand man and I guess the Jesus. Like he's pretty much the one above all, but he's the one that does stuff. And he runs a bar on the edge of the cosmic universe and makes the most awesome cocktails in existence. Yeah. And then it just continues to go on down. You got Taymut, the Dreaming Celestial, once a member of the space gods known as the Celestials. You got the Beyonder, which was pre-retcon. The Molecule Man. These are some very old Marvel.
Old Marvel, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Scathon, the Approver. The Living Tribunal. Protege, number 8. Mad Jim Jespers coming in at number 9. And then Franklin Richards coming in at 10. Son of Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. Franklin is a highly...
Yeah, I knew about him. He's crazy. That's okay. Going just backtracking just slightly. That's another thing I would do if I could. I would just own a kick-ass bar.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
It's one of them badass like you see on like the YouTube commercials.
No, I don't know. I don't want it like a club.
No. I meant like those. Like you seen that new Guinness commercial where it's that your local bar. You haven't seen it on YouTube?
I haven't.
Yeah, it starts off where they're going in and it has the sound of that good kind of Irish pub, the laughing and the clinking of the drinks, and can I get 2 more? And ha ha ha. And then the girl, and she's like, you're so, and it's, and then it goes by the shuffleboard and they're playing he's like, 1 more, come on, 1 more. And you hear the sound of the shuffleboards and the bar is kind of empty, but it's kind of, as they walk around the bar, I think the bartender is closing up, putting things up, and the sounds of the memories of the bar itself kind of come through. And that's the kind of bar, well, actually, yeah, you would run a bar like Mac's. Like Macanelli's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of lots of pillars.
Could you, imagine me being a bartender? How awesome of a bartender I'd be.
You'd be great at it.
Just talking to people, give them my sage advice that I've earned through scars and scars of past girlfriends.
And your tidbits of tribunology. So, dude, I just some random shit. Just stick around.
Just
You're going to learn some really weird shit. Just sit there. The regulars would just be like, it's just like a drinking game with you. Jacob's like, let me tell you something. It's like, you should run a bar when you get older. You should retire to a bar.
The bar we went to in Stillwater, our bartender is one of our bartenders. She always used to do all of her work right beside me and my wife because she's like, y'all always talk about the most interesting things, and to me it's just normal shit, but. She's like, I always learn something every time y'all walk in. So that made me feel good. I was like, oh, okay, I could do this job. See, what I really want to do is because I've been to a couple of them and I love them. I want to do a great barcade.
Ah, yeah.
Get the consoles in, have, maybe do...
You do old arcades too?
Old, new, the whole bit.
Like Pac-Man all the way up to Xbox One console sitting it?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing?
Yeah, or just the newest of the new arcade games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, take into the arcade. That'd be cool.
Or what
you do it where it's free?
You
pay $15 for an all-night pass to play games, and then you pay for your drinks?
Well, what the bar in Tulsa did is you got 2 tokens a drink if you wanted to play for free.
Nice.
Or 4 tokens a drink. And most of their games were a token a piece.
Right.
So we had hundreds of tokens. Because what we used to do is where I worked and my wife worked were sort of on the opposite sides of Tulsa, and downtown was in the middle. Mm-hmm. So when I was working at home, I call it a 3:34 on a Friday and go straight to the Max, which is the barcade.
I'm out. Oh.
And after a while, they didn't care. We were getting 10 tokens, a drink, and we'd be there for an hour or two. Then we'd go eat dinner.
Right.
We would walk out there with 50, 60 tokens. We had hundreds of tokens by the time we left Tulsa.
I hope you returned those before you left Tulsa.
Some of them.
You're an ass. You're a dick. They have to pay for those.
Ugh. Good times.
Good times. Good times. They have something kind of like that down here, but instead down here they went with a different model where you pay a $15 membership fee, which is either monthly, but that's recurring, or once each time you go, you can just pay $15 for that night, right?
Right.
I think the monthly is $30. So if you go more than twice, then it pays for itself. But it's BYOB.
Oh.
So you bring your own.
Okay, then that's not so bad then. I was like, man, if they're doing $15 to get in the door and then charging you for drinks, that's pretty steep.
It's BYOB because it's a private club because you're paying for a membership, and all the games are free.
Nice.
Just go in and play. It's just once you're in the door, you just go play. And they've got an unbelievable collection. They've got games that seem to be running on 4-bit that I didn't even realize were games. They're just like 4 like white lines and like a green laser and these little blue dots that go by, and I'm like, I don't even understand what's going on in that game. All the way up to Area 51.
Oh,
so like early 90s kind of is where they stopped.
Okay.
So
interesting.
yeah, they got like Gauntlet Legends.
Oh, Gauntlet.
And if you know anything about Gauntlet Legends, what's cool about that game is that you could have a save file on the game. And because of that, since it's an arcade, you can go up there and start at a Gauntlet game and then actually go all the way to level 100 and beat it. Because you can just keep going every week and keep playing because your save character is still there. It's pretty cool.
I have spent so many hours like in 64 Gauntlet.
Gauntlet Legacy.
Oh, man.
That's the one me and you played.
Oh, God. So much time.
Me and you beat it.
Did we?
Yeah. Uh-huh. We got all the runes and put them together and fought the big dragon that comes out of the middle circle.
Oh, that's right.
He's not really a dragon. He's kind of like a genie-looking thing, but yeah. Yeah. We fucked him up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I remember.
So here's maybe the last question for the night, because thinking about this. If you have, the definitive ranking of consoles, PCs not, excluded. Definitive rank.
Period. All of the consoles get to be thrown in this?
All of them.
Okay, we're going to start.
Game Boys, Game Gears, Segas, Nintendos.
So Nintendo 64. Is it Nintendo 64 then PlayStation, or is it Nintendo 64 then Super NES? I'd probably have to go 64 into PlayStation. Well, greatest consoles. We're not talking about. We're actually talking about the console itself. So it'd probably go N64, PlayStation 2. Super NES. Xbox?
1 or 360?
1. 1 was better than 360 in my opinion. Well, no, the 360. Yeah, 360. Wait, there was an original Xbox too, wasn't there? There was just an Xbox.
Oh, there's the original Xbox, the big black one with the controller that would murder people.
Right. Is it that one? Is that one better than the 360?
I don't think so, but...
Think it's the 360 then? That's probably the top 5 then, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you have it? I know you have Genesis in there.
I do.
That's the only difference though, right?
N64. I was not a big fan of the PlayStation 2, but I gotta go PlayStation 2. 3.
I have to.
3's probably the SNES.
Or Genesis, depending on your camp.
Oh, man. Well, one we'll just put SNES Genesis at 3. We'll make them a tie.
Cop out. Cop
It
out.
is.
Cop
And
out.
then you have to have the NES.
You're just trying to avoid the wrath of the internet.
Okay. I love the Genesis. Everyone on the internet hates the Genesis. I love it.
I know. That's why
All y'all guys can go straight to hell. I don't care. Give me a Genesis over a SNES every single day of the week. Fuck y'all.
Okay, so what's number 4 then?
Number 4. It's got to be the NES, right? Just talking greatest game systems, the NES.
The original Nintendo Entertainment?
The original NES. Yeah. Mario 1, Mario 3, all those great games. And number 5, I don't know if I want to go next gen or not. I'm trying to think.
You mean the newest gen?
Well,
Wait, or the
360 up.
Oh.
I do love the 360. I think it's a great console. Sure, we'll go with the 360.
Yeah, I think 360 can go ahead and get top 5. If y'all have a different opinion, though, go ahead and send your responses to us at Twitter or at the email.
This email is...
Both of them are 42 podcast.
Right. It's FORTY, the numeral 2, podcast.com. Yeah, the more I look at our URLs for things, I'm like, oh, that was a bad idea.
Why the 40?
Yeah, because I couldn't. 42, just the 2 numerals was taken.
Sure.
And
you think it should have been spelled out 42?
Maybe, I don't know. That was just a bad...
We can change it. We're not too far in.
Yeah, maybe. No, I'll be fine. People figure it out. It doesn't matter. It's the internet.
I didn't notice that it was a big deal until I had to explain it.
Yeah,
and then I realized
right?
that every time you tell somebody, you have to tell them that because they're not going to remember. And they probably won't remember anyway. It's like if they go to send us an email, they're not going to remember to go FORTY number 2. It's too... That is a little too much, but maybe we can look into changing that a little bit. But I like incorporating the 42 and the... I don't know. That just means so much to us for so long.
Yeah, well, if I could get the 42 podcast, because 42 podcast with the 2 numerals is actually taken.
Oh yeah, is it an active podcast or just somebody just buy it?
I
wonder what 42, like how much that one's worth. Just 42.com.
I think it's like a soccer website.
That definitely looks
Pediatric
like
specialist doctor of rural small hospital.
Okay. Sure.
Let's see. Sports medicine, yeah. Crazy balls. I wonder why he took podcast.
Ha 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 ha. www.42.com. A couple of days ago, when my math teacher asked any questions, I asked, what is the meaning of life? She replied, the meaning of life is math. Today we realized that in the alphabet, M is 13, A is the first letter, T is the 20th letter, H is the 8th letter. Which is, if you add those up, 13 plus 1 plus 20 plus 8 equals
42. Yeah. Oh, maybe we should just rebrand entirely and think of something else. Pass.
I don't think that would be...
We already have a logo.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think that would work.
I think
We're going to call it?
Yeah, I think
We're
so.
going to wild card this motherfucker.
We've had a good run. I'm starting to run out of steam. I think next week we might have a special guest. Your friend and mine, Mr. John Steele. Awesome dude. You'll know. I don't know if you know him.
Well,
He's
say
cool.
my friend, yours.
But he's our collective friend because he wants to come on the podcast.
I love him. He's a good friend. Yay!
And if you want to come on the podcast, just let us know, and we will probably let you on because we don't give a shit. Really
especially
don't.
on a Skype conversation that Jacob's controlling, he could just hang the motherfucker up. Be like, well, that was a bad plan. And then we could talk shit about that person.
Guys. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again, one and all, for coming down to 42.
Bye.
There's
I can get Sonic for you.
Oh, they're doing it. Well, not Uber isn't doing it, but there's a couple startups that are doing it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that type of technology. Or I want to say technology, but it's like a tool. Like Uber's the new kind of crowdsourced technology taxi tool. That's what this is. It's kind of a technology. I wonder if that type of technology is going to be implemented in other services.
Yeah, their facility here in Pittsburgh is for developing self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have like a self-driving Uber. You just call it, and it comes.
You don't own the car. Yeah, but there's a lot of people calling for a future where you don't own your car. a lot of car sharing, where it's mostly Uber. If you're not using your car specifically for a task like moving farm equipment or, motorcycles or tools or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well,
if you just use your car
in the
for
right
transportation.
place, if you live in the right place, that'd be great.
Right.
If you live anywhere on the eastern seaboard, that probably works. I don't know if that works in Houston or another big western southern city because they're just so spread out. But anything.
If it takes over the way it works, though, if like every car is if most of the cars that are just transporting people, if they're just if that's how most of the people are doing it, then there would always be a car around.
Right, I'm just saying it's not cost effective for those kind of distances. Because you need one car for every person almost, because especially if you're commuting 30 miles a day, that's tying up the resource for a very long time.
But if it's self-driving cars, then traffic's going to go away and the commutes will become a lot less time.
God, I would hope so. Well,
they would have to. There would be no ego.
Well, if everyone obeyed the rules and merged and flowed correctly, yes, things would.
What if you did it with the computers that could communicate with each other?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Then you could do it within a couple feet at freeway speed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you can merge and no one cuts someone off and causes a wreck or
an accordion effect.
Right, and so if the self-driving
or you could even have. You could even have sophisticated software like an emergent, intelligent software system that runs across all of the network at once. So if some type of incident does happen and cause the accordion effect, it's all absorbed by the traffic for the next mile instead of, backing up like we do as humans.
Right. Well, you could instantly reroute
and then the roadways become 6-7 lanes instead of 4 lanes. Because
Uber has opened a facility here in Pittsburgh, and cool. They are looking for someone with my very unique skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
they are,
and they'll pay me a ton.
Because they're up and coming. That'd be cool.
Oh, their newest evaluation was $41 billion. Their valuation puts them at $41 billion.
You know what? I've heard some rumblings towards the future with Uber. With their who's the most afraid of Uber? Besides, the people they've already killed, the taxis, of course.
Who's that?
But do you know who's next in line to be the most afraid?
Who?
The last mile delivery guys. UPS and FedEx are going to get destroyed by Uber.
Oh no, huh? No, last mile will save FedEx. If they can do it cheaper, because here's
you
something.
You think FedEx will just ship all their
Well,
no.
Well, no, because this is the key difference between FedEx and UPS for anyone out there who is mildly interested. UPS, they own all their trucks, they employ all their drivers. FedEx does not. The person who, if you get a FedEx package delivered to you, that person does not work for FedEx. They work for themselves or another company. FedEx goes to contractors and says, look, we're going to pay you this amount of money for this route. You can drive it or not. And that's how you do it. So if you ever wanted to change careers, you could go buy up a couple FedEx routes, get a truck, and drive FedEx instead of your job.
Really? Interesting.
There's one guy up here who him and a friend started out with 2 routes. And now they own every route in Western Pennsylvania.
That's America.
He doesn't even drive anymore. He has
of course not.
He has 10 drivers or 15 or whatever drivers under him, making millions of dollars a year. But now for FedEx especially, they would love if they were cheaper than what they were doing, they would fire all their contractors. There's screw you guys.
Look forward in the future.
That's why if you ever get stuff on Amazon, it'll be shipped by UPS but delivered by the United States Postal Service. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
It happened a lot.
I don't pay attention enough,
That happened a lot when I was living in Oklahoma, but that's why, because last mile is the most expensive part of that trip.
Uber's going to take care of it.
That'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But
That will be interesting. It'll be interesting if they could ever come up with an Uber food delivery service.
And like in the South.
That's absolutely true. Dude, I mean, everybody's seen the memes though, but it's like they shut down, the city shut down and it's like the grass is still green. Like there's just a white layer of powder on top of the grass and it's like school shut down. And then it says something like, "Oh, that's funny," and it'll be like Wyoming and it'll be like 3 or 4 feet. And then the next picture will be like, "Oh yeah, keep talking, eh?" And it'll just be white. There's just nothing. It's just Canada. It's funny.
Oh,
3 different levels.
Yeah, it's been a trip. I've never seen this much snow in my life.
It's really just continuous.
There was
the
weeks where it snowed every day.
Oh, that's so weird.
It is weird. It's especially.
Did you make a snowman?
A little bit. For the most part, I was like, "Fuck this snow!
Fuck this snow,
you guys!" Especially because I've got my driveway. So I'm at the bottom of my property is sloped about like this. I have a 9-degree sloped driveway.
Right.
That's hard to get up in the snow. So we're out there with the salt and the shovels and the snow blower at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, it was
still dark at 5:30 in the morning.
Yes, it is.
Fuck that.
So
it didn't even snow this year.
But once we got used to it, it wasn't bad. It's not nearly as bad as those poor people out in Boston. They had 110 inches this winter or something crazy like that.
That's insane.
It set the record. Like they set the record very late in the season to still be considered winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 110, 112 inches.
Yeah, no fun down here either. I didn't enjoy the weather this year, but I mean, it's winter. Winters are never really that fun.
Houston. Let's just be honest. The weather in Houston is just terrible.
It sucks all the time.
It sucks.
Yeah,
y'all don't have
80.
spring.
Mm-hmm.
And the summers are just god awful. It's like
brutal.
It's like living in a sauna for 6 months.
Yeah.
Fall, like the 3 days of fall aren't bad. And then winter is just wet and cold. It's like 40 degrees and misty the entire winter, which is 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'd like to move. That's why I'm buying a house here.
Oh man, I'm really glad my boss doesn't listen to this. I found a job I'm going to apply for.
Yay!
I've been at this job for 5 months, and I found the job
You work for money, Jacob.
Well, I do, but this is one of those jobs I saw. I'm like, oh, I have to apply for that.
At least try. Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 11 of 42, the podcast where we talk about the failings of the late great human race. And as always, the co-host who I normally have a very witty intro for, but not today, is our good friend Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
I've been better, but I'm okay. How are you, Jacob?
Not too bad. It's Monday, but it is a Monday for all you out there. Yesterday was Easter, so schedules didn't accommodate, but it's all good. It's a short week for me, so today's my Tuesday, so I'm just trying to get through it.
Nice. Why is it a short week? You taking Friday off for some reason?
Yeah, on Thursday night, we are heading down to Columbus, Ohio for the Major League Gaming Joint Dota Season 1 LAN Finals. Or the event with the longest name ever, one of the two.
Yeah, that's a lot of words.
But that's, yeah. So we're going to go down there. With my last job, I traveled a lot, so I racked up a whole lot of hotel points. So nice. we're able to stay for free. And tickets to the event for 3 days were $35 a ticket. So we're just going. It's more of an excuse to go than it is the reason we're going. But yeah, we're going to go watch some of the best Dota players in the world play Dota.
Awesome.
It's going to be weird going to a live video game tournament.
I've actually never done anything like that. Well, when it comes to the future kind of gaming, modern day like
arenas we've all been to them, all the land, the computers are all hooked up and people are talking shit, but you don't know why they're talking shit.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this will be crazy though. How many people are going to be there? Do you think? Like how many?
I
Like will
think
be sitting there watching the.
I think the arena, because they actually have their own arena there in Columbus. Major League Gaming has their own space. I want to say it's like 3,000 people.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, and it's right there by Ohio State, so I'm sure we'll hit the bars one night and go party like college kids. And by that I mean be home at 10:30. I still think I probably show those college kids a thing or two about drinking, but that's me.
Wait, which way? Which way? Who's showing who?
I think I could show them a thing or two. I got age and experience on my side.
Yeah, and they got testosterone and fucking I don't know what they got on their side, but those kids can drink, man.
So
You could show them the way to actually enjoy it like a mature adult.
it's like this is how you
But
start.
they'd be like, no, let's just put it in a funnel. Let's just put it in a funnel. You'll just drink it. Just the whole. You're like, it's scotch. That's 50-year-old scotch. What are you doing? They're like, bottles, 6 of them at a time. Yeah. Each one of you has something else to teach each other, I think.
Yes. So that'll be fun. Hopefully, it's not too bad of a drive, depending on where you look. It's somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. So
it's like 30 miles away.
yeah. So we're gonna leave after work on Thursday and get there and hang out. And there's another podcast, a Dota podcast I listen to.
You said hang out, even go get drunk and have sex.
I mean, we do have a hotel. It's kind of
like we're married and we have a hotel. Any excuse is good enough.
Any excuse is good enough.
Hell, we're a boy and a girl. That's a good enough excuse. Fuck it.
Hey, we're still at the point, and hopefully we never get to this point. We're just like, hey.
You have 10 minutes? Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're just like, yeah. So
That's
it'll be
good
good. And there's a Dota podcast I like to listen to that they're going to be there. So we're going to have a meetup.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Work is work. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. It's actually not cold.
Yeah, it's warming up.
Yeah, it was right around 70 today. Like legit kind of warm.
Yeah, that's
which is weird because I don't know if it's been that warm since I've moved here almost 6 months ago.
Jacob. So was it a bad winter? So now that you've kind of gone all the way through it, do winters suck as bad as us Southerners think?
They're tough, but
yeah.
They're one of those things that once you learn how to deal with it, they're not bad.
And they kind of make you a little hardy.
Yeah.
Teach you some respect for nature.
The thing is, if
that.
they had this weather in Houston, the city would be shut down for 2 months. But they have it all the time up here. So they have all the trucks, all the salts. They'll drop a foot of snow and we won't. The kids will be 2 hours late getting to school, kind of thing. Like, just don't keep. They'll basically push the start of the day back 2 hours so the kids don't get frostbite at the bus stop. Literally. And so that's the difference. It's the equipment really. They just have everything. They know how to deal with it here.